All right, so get this. We're diving headfirst into some seriously strange stuff today.
Oh, yeah?
You know, the really good stuff.
Okay. Sure.
You've handed us a stack of files about Poughkeepsie,
Huh?
and it's not about, the apple picking or anything like that. We're talking full-on conspiracies, cryptids, the whole supernatural shebang,
Right,
like
right.
Area 51.
Okay.
But instead of aliens, we're dealing with dingoes and phantom mayors.
Right.
So our mission today
Yeah.
is to figure out just how wild Poughkeepsie really is.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Right.
Yeah.
And judging by these files, we're in for a wild ride.
Sounds like it. So, where do we even begin with all of this?
Well, we got to start with the source, right?
Okay.
And this is where things get interesting. We're talking about a website called PassTheVeil.com, run by a self-proclaimed paranormal expert, Dion Fortune.
Dion Fortune, huh? Well, that name certainly suggests we're in for a wild ride.
Right. The name itself screams buckle up.
Exactly. So, what kind of stuff are we talking about here? What's got Dion Fortune so riled up about Poughkeepsie?
Well, according to Fortune, Poughkeepsie isn't just haunted, it's like a paranormal melting pot.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and one of the most persistent figures is this guy, James Emmett, the supposedly, quote, undying mayor.
Okay, an undying mayor. That's a new one. What, does he have a portrait in City Hall that ages in his place or something?
Haha, funnier than that.
All right.
Legend has it he's been mayor since the 1800s,
Wow.
possibly serving as every mayor Poughkeepsie has ever had.
Really? Every single one?
That's what they're saying.
Wow. I mean, think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Could it be one man, changing names, pulling the strings behind the scenes? Or are we talking about a town that just really, really loves a familiar face?
I mean, I get comfortable with my local barista, but re-electing the same guy for over a century, that's commitment.
That's some serious dedication right there.
Right. And speaking of commitment, what about this sad George Lombard character, a vampire politician with a coffin recycling habit?
Oh, yeah, sad George. Now, that's where the lines between truth and legend get real blurry.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See, Fortune describes Lombard as this, well, almost obsessive recycler.
Uh-huh.
Like, the guy was all about reducing and reusing, even when it came to, coffins.
Okay, that's taking eco-friendly a bit far, don't you think?
Well, yeah, it would be commendably eco-conscious if not for the whole vampire thing.
Right, right. Can't forget about that minor detail.
Yeah, small detail. But apparently, his reign of eco-terror ended rather abruptly one Christmas. Yeah, something about a bonfire and some very motivated townsfolk.
Let's just say some holiday traditions are best left undisturbed.
Definitely. But it does make you wonder, right? What kind of power struggles could be happening behind the scenes if you've got factions of vampires vying for control?
Right, because it's not just about who's mayor, it's about who's running the underworld, too.
Exactly. And the political intrigue doesn't stop there.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, we are just getting started.
Okay.
Our friend Dion Fortune claims that none other than former Canadian Prime Minister John A. Macdonald factors into this whole Poughkeepsie equation.
Wait, hold up. The Johnny McDonald? From
Yeah.
Canada? What's it doing in upstate New York?
Well, according to Fortune, he didn't exactly retire peacefully to a nice cottage in the woods.
Right.
The story goes that he became a Wendigo.
A Wendigo.
Yeah, a creature of immense power and insatiable hunger.
Hold on. So we've gone from undead mayors and vampire environmentalists to a Canadian prime minister turned mythical monster. Things are escalating quickly.
That's Poughkeepsie for you, I guess.
Yeah.
Always keeping things interesting.
So what's a Wendigo prime minister doing in Poughkeepsie, of all places?
Well, apparently he developed a taste for politicians. And I mean, literally.
Oh, no.
Yeah, not a pretty picture. And it took the combined might of the Royal Canadian Mounted Weregeese to subdue him.
Wait, back up a second. Weregeese.
You heard me right. We'll circle back to those feathered enforcers later, I promise.
Thanks. I need to hear more about this.
Well, we'll definitely be revisiting that. But yeah, they eventually managed to encase him in concrete and ship him off to, yes, you guessed it, Poughkeepsie.
Okay, first of all, concrete. Sounds like someone was taking keep your enemies closer to a whole new level.
Right. Extreme times call for extreme measures, I guess.
So it's not just local legends we're dealing with here. We've got international figures, possible government conspiracies. What else does this Dion Fortune have up his sleeve?
Well, how about bridge-obsessed troll named the Nimbledy-Duke?
A bridge-obsessed troll. Seriously. For someone living in the Hudson Valley, that doesn't sound all that monstrous.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen the traffic on the Mid-Hudson Bridge during rush hour?
Right. Talk about a nightmare before Halloween.
Seriously, I bet that troll has some choice words for the Department of Transportation.
Oh, I'm sure he's got a whole list of infrastructure complaints. But, you know, putting aside the troll's urban planning aspirations for a moment, okay, your research takes an even weirder turn here.
Weirder than a concrete-encased Wendigo prime minister. Don't tell me Bigfoot runs a bed and breakfast in Beacon.
Not quite that weird, but we're getting there.
Okay, you gotta give me something here.
Okay. So it seems our friend Dion Fortune, he thinks he's uncovered some kind of secret code.
A secret code, like numbers, stations, and cryptic messages stuff.
Even stranger than that.
All right, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
The source. A jukebox.
A jukebox? What, like some dusty old vinyl collection holding ancient secrets?
Not just any jukebox, mind you.
Okay.
This one's at the Palace Diner.
Hold on, the Palace Diner off Route 9. That Palace Diner. The one with the faded booze and questionable coffee.
The one and only.
Wow, okay. Never thought of that place as a hub for secret messages. So what is it? Some kind of coded playlist?
You could say that.
All right, so we're talking about a culinary and cryptic experience.
Exactly. It seems alongside the burgers and fries, they're serving up coded messages to a whole host of supernatural clientele.
Okay, now I'm picturing a werewolf nursing a milkshake while Sinatra croons in the background.
See, I told you Poughkeepsie was a happening place.
It's a whole vibe, I'll give you that. But seriously, coded messages, like what is someone placing takeout orders in ancient Sumerian? What kind of messages are we talking about?
It's not quite that literal, thankfully.
Okay.
But according to Fortune, certain songs, they indicate alliances, warnings, even, potential recruitment efforts.
Recruitment efforts, like join our vampire book club. We meet on Tuesdays.
Something like that.
Okay, that's both amazing and terrifying. So what you're saying is this greasy spoon is like a supernatural HQ, complete with a coded jukebox.
It's a possibility, right?
And how exactly am I supposed to crack this code? Should I be watching for a shadowy figure slipping me a napkin with a song request?
You might be onto something with that. But, before you start brushing up on your jukebox etiquette, we do have another piece of this research to consider.
Okay.
One that suggests this whole musical connection. It's not limited to one diner.
Oh, no, there's more. All right, lay it on me. What other secrets has Poughkeepsie hidden behind a catchy melody?
This next document focuses on songs. And get this, these songs reference paranormal activity in the Poughkeepsie area.
Wait, so it's like a whole musical genre dedicated to the paranormal activity of Poughkeepsie?
Basically. And we're talking way back, almost a century, of local bands incorporating these legends into their music.
A century of paranormal rock and roll. That's one way to put Poughkeepsie on the map.
Right. Who needs Woodstock when you've got dingoes and coded jukeboxes?
So it's not just Fortune and his interesting interpretation of classic hits. We're talking generations of musicians drawing inspiration from these stories.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got ourselves a paranormal playlist. Give me some highlights. What are we listening for?
Well, for starters, remember our bridge-obsessed troll.
The Nimbledy-Dook, right?
That's the one.
How could I forget a name like that? What about him?
Turns out there are at least 2 songs about him, spanning decades.
So this troll's got staying power. Decades of musical tributes. That's not bad for a bridge-obsessed cryptid, which makes me wonder, is this just creative license, or are these musicians privy to something more?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
That really is. So what else you got? Any other paranormal hits?
Oh, we're just getting started. There's a song from the 60s about a surfing Dan, a former baseball player turned, wait for it, shark.
Hold on, did Poughkeepsie suddenly become Amity Island? A shark terrorizing the Hudson. I kind of love it.
See? Told you these tunes were catchy.
Okay, shark sea shanties. What else?
And then there's Palace on the Hill, a song that seems to warn about, you guessed it, the Palace Diner itself.
Of course, it always comes back to the Palace Diner, doesn't it? Are they giving out free fries with every cryptic message?
Maybe. But this song, it also mentions something called Blighter's Mill, which, might ring a bell.
Blighter's Mill. Didn't Dion Fortune mention that? Something about a spooky doppelganger farm. And now it's popping up in local music, too.
You're catching on. It seems certain places, like Blighter's Mill and the Palace Diner, they're recurring themes in all of this, almost like, landmarks in this hidden world.
Landmarks on the Poughkeepsie paranormal map.
You got it.
I like it. Okay, so we've got cryptic diners, troll-themed folk songs, even a Warshark summer hit. But this is where it gets even more interesting.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Because according to your research, it's not just rock and roll paying tribute to the Poughkeepsie paranormal. We've got a racker. a rapper named DW.
DW.
Yeah, DW.
Yeah,
And he seems to have made a career out of rhyming about this stuff.
it's true. And DW's lyrics, they mention everything vampires were creatures.
What, like a hip-hop historian of the supernatural?
You could say that. He even name drops our friend Dion Fortune.
Wow, so he's really going all in on this. He's not just rapping about monsters, he's building on Dion's work.
Exactly. It's like he's chronicling this whole scene through his music.
A hip-hop historian of the supernatural, Poughkeepsie is full of surprises. But I have to ask, what does DW know, and why is he rapping about it? It's like we've stumbled onto this whole secret history of Poughkeepsie,
Right.
told through, like, coded messages and power chords.
He's pretty wild.
But this DW character, he's not just, rapping about monsters.
No.
He's dropping references to Dion Fortune.
Right.
And this thing, he calls it the Walter Hill cut. Does that mean anything to you?
Balder Hill cut, huh? That's interesting. It rings a bell, but I can't quite place it. What's the context?
It's a movie reference.
Okay.
Streets of Fire, I think.
Streets of Fire. Oh, right. Now it's coming back to me. Wasn't that the movie Dion Fortune mentioned earlier?
Yeah. He's the one who brought it up.
And what was it he said about it again? Something about the mayor.
Oh, the mayor. He had something to say about it.
Right. Right.
He thought very little of it, remember?
Thought very little of it. That's awfully specific for something you don't care about, right?
That's what I thought.
It's like a single puzzle piece that doesn't quite fit, but you know it's part of the bigger picture.
It's true.
And here's another interesting thing about that movie. Ed Begley Jr. was in it.
Hold on. That Ed Begley Jr., Mr. Electric Car himself.
One and the same.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, he had a small part. But according to our friend Dion Fortune, Begley's not just an actor with a passion for the planet.
Oh, no.
He's supposedly a practicing mage.
A mage. Wow. Talk about a secret life.
Right. And Fortune seems to think Begley's deeply embedded in this whole Poughkeepsie scene.
Okay, now we're connecting Hollywood, local legends, and a conspiracy theorist who thinks a diner jukebox is sending him messages. Is it me, or is this getting a little hard to follow?
It's a lot to unpack, that's for sure. But stick with me, because it gets even weirder.
Oh, boy. All right, hit me.
DW also mentions floppy corn people in one of his songs.
Wait, floppy corn people, as in those extra-dimensional beings Dion Fortune was talking about?
The very same.
The ones he connected to that abandoned amusement park.
Yep. The one that went up in flames under, shall we say, mysterious circumstances.
Okay, that's right, floppy corn people. It's all coming back now.
So it seems like these extra-dimensional tourists, they've got some kind of connection to Poughkeepsie.
A connection to Poughkeepsie. Why Poughkeepsie?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
What is it about this seemingly ordinary town that attracts so much weirdness?
I don't know, but I kind of want to find out.
Me too.
So we've got cryptic diners, troll-themed folk songs, a Warshark summer hit, a hip-hop historian of the supernatural, and extra-dimensional tourists with a thing for cornfields.
It's a lot, I know.
It's a lot to process, even for someone who dives into conspiracies for a living.
I can only imagine.
So what does it all mean?
That's the question, isn't it? What does it all mean? I don't have all the answers, but I will say this.
Okay.
Poughkeepsie is more than just a dot on the map.
More than meets the eye.
Way more. This place, it's got layers.
Layers of the paranormal, maybe?
Exactly. And if you look closely enough, you might just catch a glimpse of what's lurking beneath the surface.
A glimpse into a world most people never see.
A world of conspiracies, cryptids, and maybe, just maybe, a little bit of magic.
That's what we call a deep dive. So the next time you find yourself cruising down Route 9, maybe grabbing a burger at the Palace Diner, remember?
Oh, yeah.
You might be sitting in the heart of something truly extraordinary.
Keep an ear out for those coded messages, right?
Exactly. You never know who or what might be trying to get your attention.